Well, hello everyone, and thank you for joining us for another episode of Iron Panther Presents. Today, Jamani and I are going to say goodbye to Special Ops Lioness as we talk about Season 2, Episode 8. I actually thought we were going to go 10 episodes, but Taylor said we're going to wrap this thing up in 8. So again, we'll see what we thought about this final thing. How they compare to the rest of the season. We're gonna talk about all that. But anyway, if you are new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. You can like on the video and comment on the video, share the video. Our last video actually did pretty well for our channel. So I'm looking forward to see what kind of views and comments and feedback we get for this video. So anyway, watch the video to the end and see what we talk about. If there is a season 3, should there be a season 3? We'll talk about all that. Anyway.
Wait. I got to do it now. Wait. This is going to be funny. Wait. You ready? I got to do it.
This is awesome. This is awesome. This is amazing. I love it.
It was psychological. It was emotional.
Extremely entertaining.
But as always, as we try to say here, as we said, if you are new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. And as we talk about this video, please like on the video and comment on the video, and we will get back to you as soon as possible.
So Zoe / Joe led her crew into Iran to kill 2 nuclear scientists before they could help Iran build a nuclear weapon. That's what we saw. And we saw Caitlin and the other guy. They allowed a brother to kill his brother so he could take over one of the 3 cartels that run the border. And they don't mess with the Chinese anymore, I guess. So Jamon, what did you think of any of this?
I just immediately just kept having the OJ song playing in my head, like, you know, you will kill your own brother for the love of money. Like, just
okay. I see how you do it. I see how you tie it together. I'll let you. Okay, let's do that.
I'm like, this was supposed to be the main story of the season, and it got not even a 5-minute scene in the finale. I was like, this is a footnote. And the girl who they recruited for the Lioness for the mission isn't even there.
Oh, thank you, Giovanni. Thank you.
I'm like, all right, so you have this whole big mission, and tell me exactly, because I'm gonna say the wrong place.
Okay.
The Middle Eastern, Iran. Okay.
They're in Iran. Yes.
They don't even care about these nuclear scientists. It's about, yes, just show them they have open borders just like we do. I'm like, because we didn't even see them dead, the scientists. You just see them in the tank, and then boop, they're dead. And then, like, it's just, this mission is just for show.
So, all right. So again, 2 missions, and we'll talk about each one. All right. So let's go with the Mexico mission, which was supposed to be the purpose of this entire season. To add on to what you say, not to be redundant. Why do we have a spy show that would inquire, you would think, undercover work, somehow deception, somehow manipulation, somehow putting people in the right place to get the right access, to get the right information to achieve the goal? No. CIA walked up to the financier and said, yo, $300 million, you work with us and not the Chinese. Okay, how are we going to pitch it to drug lord leading brother? What do you want to say? What's going to be your cover? No, just tell them the CIA got some money for him. What? Yeah, let's just go down there and be like, hey, we're the CIA. That's it. What? And then we walk in and they're like, yo, you work for us now. You can still sell your drugs in America as long as you do it with us and not the Chinese.
I'm like, I was just thinking, like, This is Snowfall.
Yes. Well, okay, to what end? Because I disagree.
CIA is okay with drug dealing in the U.S.
Okay, all right, never mind. I hear you. So yes, as long as you don't mess with some other foreign country, like Iran was supposed to be in Snowfall, it didn't really get there like it was supposed to. But even to this end, the Chinese agent who did not have a name and didn't even have a face because his entire face was wrapped up in that plastic bullshit, and they never took it off to even reveal who this Chinese government officer was. And he's left there, actually. He's left there with Kyle because Kyle is the show. Like, you should have saw Kyle with the Chinese agent. To what end? Is he interrogating him for information? Are they going to send him back to China in a bag and say, we know that you're involved with the cartel to the extent that they're doing human trafficking, and somehow this involves Iran and the counterintelligence unit because they got suicide bombers and armed UAVs? None of this gets explained. The two people just get back on the plane, they throw up, and then they go back home triumphant because now they control the person who's in charge of the cartel. This was not the season. The senators asked Joe, find and kill the people who killed my family, right? Find them and kill them. None of that happened. We have no idea who broke into that woman's house, killed her son, which was pretty hardcore, killed the father. Then I want to point out how the mom just ran. Like, she didn't give a fuck about that son or that husband. She jumped that balcony and kept on running. And then after she got saved, she was like, what happened to my family? I'm like, bitch, you left them. So you were too worried. I'm not sure why we're doing this. But anyway, none of this got addressed. It had nothing. Oh, I was so mad. I was like, this is not even what you started out with, sir. Not even what you started. And thank you, Jamani. Josephina wasn't even there. What are we doing? What are we doing? But there is a season 3. Now we do got Snowfall to an extent. So like it'd be like now they're gonna help run the fentanyl and everything into America just as long as the Chinese are involved. We never saw any Chinese government officials or anything to know that this is what's happening to their people at all. Let's get to the Iranian mission. Let's get to the Iran mission.
Well, I gotta say this before. You got what you asked for. You didn't want the asset or the operative to kill, somebody in their drawers while eating cake in the kitchen. So they switched it up. You wanted more action. They said, all right, this story don't have the action. So let's go with the story that has some action.
It has the action. Okay. I hear you. I hear you. I let me start with, I didn't start with the positive, but let me give you a positive. It was the almost Saving Private Ryan moment. If you remember, have you seen the movie?
No. But...
All right. So Tom Hanks is in it. Matt Damon's in it. Anyway. So Tom Hanks and Vin Diesel and some other people that you don't know. At this point, you don't know who Vin Diesel is really. But Tom Hanks leads his infantry team through Normandy and Europe, basically, to ultimately find Matt Damon to bring him back to save Private Ryan because his two brothers got killed in the war. My point is, at some point they are facing certain death. Like Germans are coming, tanks are flying. I mean, tanks are shooting weapons, air fly. Like they are fucked. All right. So Tom Hanks is like, and Matt Damon is crying and screaming like a little bitch, as we saw in this scene. And it's all pandemonium. And Tom Hanks is like, we're done, but it's all right. He pulls out a 9mm and he's shooting at a tank. I'm like, this don't make any kind of damn sense. You're like, oh, well, bye. And then airplanes start flying and they blow up the Germans and, it saves the day. And I'm like, clearly Taylor Sheridan remembers Saving Private Ryan. And he was like, and that's what he brought to the desert with this scene.
What I want to know is how close is this base to where things were happening? If Joe can say, oh shit has hit the fan. Let me get in the car and drive real fast and we'll get there.
So to your point of how short this distance is, which is that bullshit, because to your point, she drove there immediately once the Black Hawk, once again, let me explain to you military vehicles, as we did last episode. Since Josephina was introduced, she was a Apache pilot, which is an attack helicopter, as we showed last week. They said last episode, we can get you in an Apache. Remember that? We can get you an Apache. She flew a Black Hawk. Again. There was no Apaches in this shit at all. So I'm like, damn it. But anyway. They were, to your point, they were able to jump in the Humvee, and you knew Joe was going to go. You knew this. You stay there. You advise from the base. You advise. You don't go into combat. No problem, sir. So then they rolled the vehicles in there to save Josephina and Cruz from being clearly going to be murdered. Somehow Cody is still alive. That's because he's Taylor Sheridan, his show. And then, like, it takes the entire episode for the planes to get there. The planes were slower than the Humvees. Kiss my ass. The planes and the helicopters were slower than the ground vehicles. Stop it. But bro. What really
they were like, we gotta refuel them and stuff before we send them out or something. I don't know.
Kiss my ass with all of this, bro. But this is my thing. Even again, my brother would break this down all militarily. I would just, I think anyone would know this. You don't send ground troops to do what a UAV can do. If the whole mission was to kill the Chinese scientists publicly, you send drones.
No, they said that in the command room. They said, y'all not using drones?
Nah, fuck that. Like we going in hard, but somehow quiet. But we're going in hard with 6 people. And so you send a fucking Black Hawk. Like, this is the stupidest shit I've ever seen. Like, no. Like, but anyway, they put people in harm's way for no fucking reason. Like, it didn't send a message, because in the end, it was the Pakistani ambassador that comes to talk to the White House. What the fuck does Pakistan have to do with any of this? Why wasn't the Chinese ambassador or the Turkey ambassador or the Iranian or the Iraqi ambassador? There's no Iran ambassador in the U.S., but this doesn't make sense. What does Pakistan have to do with any of it? Stop it. But wait, yo. Josephina crying, like it was realistic though. Like, this shit going down, you start to reflect on life. But she was crying like a bitch, and I was like, what happened to the hardcore soldier that we met in episode 2?
No, her leg was fucked up. So I'm like, that was physical pain.
No. She got past that. That was the pain of war, of just being like, oh my God, I'm in a gunfight. Like, that was not even her leg at that point. She was like, oh my God, I died. And then Joe is like, keep that pistol for us. Well, your guy is killing someone with his bare hands. So should we be killing ourselves now? Because how much closer does the enemy need to get before we start committing suicide? And then was she supposed to kill each one herself? Or was she supposed to hand the gun to Joe? Joe shoots all of them and then shoots herself? And like, how is this gonna work exactly?
I don't know.
That's not a thing. Like, that's not. Also, let's remember how this series started. Joe sent a fucking drone strike to kill a lioness with the ISIS terrorists, because she didn't want her to get raped or whatever. So she murdered her anyway and didn't give 0 fucks. Like, she just went and got another one.
Well, no, she gave a fuck. She was like, that's why they make a point of every asset she gets stripped butt naked, so I can see if you got any tattoos, like the one I had. The drone.
And that, so I don't have to drone strike you. And that still never came up, just for the record. There's never a time that for some reason that like her daddy didn't say, "You're back from the army, huh? You got a tattoo? Strip down. Let me see." Like that never became a thing. Like maybe Joe just likes to see women naked. Like that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. Because like this don't make any kind of sense. Speaking of liking to see the women naked, I'm glad Cruz and Josephina never got to not speak. Like this was the most uncomfortable shit I ever heard. I can't wait for us to go home and not speak again because our mouths are going to be busy. You know what I'm saying? Like I get it, but I don't know why we're doing this right now. Okay, bye. Like we get it. Y'all gonna be licking. And what happened to that? Not that I wanted to see it, but what happened to any of that? Did they go out on the date? Hey, baby, we made it back from war. We can't beat it.
I'm like the stud is she gonna find out about them? Is she gonna be hitting on one of them, or am I just thinking too much about the lesbian homie?
You're doing too much, man. You're doing too much with lesbian homie. You're doing too much. But I don't know. I love for Taylor Sheridan. I love his character Cody. Like I really thought he was gonna die though. I thought he was gonna give himself like a warrior's death, and he's like, no, I'm making it to season 3. So I was like, okay, so I like the way he lived, and him and Joe were like fist bumping and whatever. Like that was it was a lot of action. I was hoping that this episode gave us a good movie of sorts. Like episode 1 gave us a good movie. And I was hoping that this would give us one, but it was just a mess.
Wait, all right. I always complain about you not watching stuff. You skip to the end, right? And then you're like, I got the gist, right? This is one of those things where I couldn't be mad if somebody said I watched the first episode and the last episode because
yeah. Okay, well, so thank you for that, Jamani. I would say if you have not watched Lioness season 2, just watch episode 1. Don't even bother. Like again, I was hoping this was going to give you a good movie. This wasn't even a good movie. This was a mess of an action scene. The storyline itself still makes no sense. There's no hero saves the day. They had no proof that these scientists were heading to Iran to help Iran build a nuclear weapon. There was no proof of this whatsoever. And Iran was going to use that nuclear weapon against America and not Israel.
But they didn't care anyway. It was just a matter of we just want to show them that they can be fucked with because they got open borders.
But to your point, they don't even confirm that the scientists are dead. Like, take a picture, like pull their bodies, something to make sure that they didn't survive all this, and Iran still builds the weapon. Like, we don't want American hands on this.
They didn't care about the weapon. You keep going back to the weapon, and it was like, man, they live, they die, whatever. We just want to let them know that they can be touched.
No, Jamani, like you are missing the point. It did matter. Like that's why they were like, let this be the mission. It wasn't just crossing the border. To your point, they could have took the scientists before they crossed to Iran. They wanted to stop them from getting a nuclear weapon, but they wanted to make sure it got done in Iran. Both of these are the story. So they could have just stopped after the Black Hawk shot them. And you need Hellfire missiles and you need a Tommy gun. This doesn't make any sense. Like you think the missiles would do the work, but somehow Cruz is like bam, 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 bam. Anyway, once they shot him up, to your point, they could have just left. If all it was just I shot you in your borders, we do that shit all the time. Like all the time. So like it really was both. But they should have confirmed said scientists were dead. And somehow this should have got back to the Chinese government. Oh my God, America's too powerful. Something to prove that the message got across. We don't even know if the message got across. They could have blamed all that shit on Israel. Easy. Like, where was the Israelis involved in this? Like, they would have been all over this shit. Saudi Arabia would have been on board with this. Like, there's so many other factors they could have played with. I'm like, it was ridiculous. And I couldn't even, at one point, I couldn't even tell who was shooting what and at who. It was just a mess of bang, 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 bang. I couldn't tell the difference.
Well, I guess that's what war is like, like it's just a cloud of smoke and you're shooting.
No, bro. Like when it's done well, you can tell the difference. Like you're like, okay, but good guys over here, bad guys over there, and then like it just once they got in close combat, I was like, all I could see was again hands and guns moving and Josephina crying, and I'm like, what the like kill her, like just kill her now. Like if she would have got shot and died, and Cruz had to hold her dead lover, that would have been something. I was kind of hoping for that. Like then I'm like, okay,
No, I was hoping for Joe's stitches to open up for that to mean something.
also true.
I was
Also true.
just I was like, all right, so she comes back home, right?
Yes.
Her husband is just sitting on the steps, like this isn't even her car pulling up. She's like, how does he know she's coming home right then and there? Like,
well, so that was clearly off camera. That at some point she was like, "Hey, baby, I'm back from war. I'll be home in a minute." And I'm driving up, but somehow he went. Why would this the whole the kids out there? That's what.
No,
like to your point.
The kids. I listened to that audio. I didn't go back and double check, but I think that audio is the same audio from the previous episode when she came home from the hospital. Mom is back. Hey, mama. But you don't see the kids at all in the scene. It's just you just hear the audio, and it's just I think they just replayed the same audio when she came home from the hospital.
To your point, I would then yes, maybe the actors weren't available, so they're just like, we're just gonna have daddy outside for some reason.
It's like this episode costs too much. We ain't messing with no child work
yes
laws
that's more money. Let's put the money into the bullets. To your point, I think Cody's partner was the CEO of the contract killer company. I think. As Taylor likes to use the same actors, I think that was the same guy. I think. And then Cruz, the guy that helped save Cruz, was the one that she beat up because he put her through that torture training / rape training that Joe commanded. And that's why he was like, hey, remember me? Yeah, now we're even. Some stupid shit. So that's how they tried to tie it back to season 1. It was a mess.
They didn't do a real good job of that, but because if you didn't say that, I would have never known that.
That's the only thing I could tie together to the point of bringing characters and having them reconcile. The boss lesbian should have been saved by her ex-husband or whatever to be like, hey, no hard feelings. I realize you like women now, and I'm gonna stop fucking with you about it. Something. I feel like that should have been a thing. To
Kim's point, right?
What's up?
To my point, Kim's point, your point. I was right. I knew that surgery that the husband did meant nothing.
Oh yeah. Well, to the argument meant nothing, because for him to be in front of the kids, relatively, to slam the phone down, to be like, "Fuck you, you ain't care about your job," and bloop.
No. I'm talking about the surgery he did in like episode.
No, I know what you're talking about. I know you're talking about the young girl that died, and then he saw a letter or some shit, and then he walked off and he argued with the guy. I know what you're talking about. It meant nothing. No, it meant nothing. I agree with you. I'm saying, but what also, in conjunction was the argument from last episode that meant nothing, because he's sitting at home like, you coming home, baby? Oh, my baby's home from overseas. I'm like, you about to divorce this bitch. Like, I thought he was going to be like, you don't have a home to come home to. The kids are gone. That's why you don't see them. They're with my mom. We're getting a divorce. Like, I can't put the kids through this anymore. That's what I thought was going.
I'm like, can you get a divorce from somebody like that? I'm like, would you? Like, there's no order of protection or something. Like you can't even go to court and say, I'm scared of this person for these reasons, because it's a matter of national security. Like,
it's not about being scared. She's an absentee parent, which is
I'm saying that if he tries to take those kids away from her, he would have a accident and she would be a single parent.
I would love to that even be on the table. I'd be like, what happened, Joe? My husband left me and tried to take the kids. Well, we can take care of that. Kyle's like, no worry about it. I got a whole team for that. Like, no. I I don't want to do that. No, I mean, she wouldn't do that. I mean, but I mean, I would. There should have been consequences to all this shit. Like, it meant nothing. Like, that's that's a cliffhanger to get you to season 3. Because right now, why would we watch a season 3?
Well, we didn't have a cliffhanger in last season. We thought, okay, this is kind of close-ended. Like, what would next season be? And we didn't know. And so I think this is gonna be like every season is just like Pokemon, collect new lesbian assets. Just a new one and a new one.
I want to see season 3 just to see if this is two Latino lesbians, both of them, Cruz and Josefina, too. They need to go for the 3-peat.
Yeah, and I'm like, if they can't go back into the military, then they can become a cop on a 50 Cent TV show.
I love it. Like, hey, but I like that. I like that. But no, for real, if for some reason this show gets a season 3, I just want to know who the asset is. Like, I won't even watch the whole season. As soon as I find out who the asset is, and if it's another Latino woman, and she also is a lesbian, I'm damn it. I'm just gonna watch that. We're just gonna review that episode and be like, why, Taylor? What do you have? You have a fetish at this point. So that's 3. So there's something. Also, we talked about the over acting, the over masculine bullshit that they do with these women, and they did it again. Like, as soon as Joe got back to this base, this bitch was like, "This base belongs to me," and even all the bitches were with it. Like, Josefina and Cruz were like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Where are you going? Don't worry about where we're going. We're just gonna take this helicopter, but we gotta know because we may have to come get you. We don't need to worry about that. This is a CIA mission, bitch." And what happened? He had to go save them. Like, that happened. So, like, at some point, man should have been like, "I had to come save your bitches, right? Right? Thank you, man, for coming to save us. Thank you." Because we would have been dead as fuck. I was like, you are absolutely, like, none of this gets brought back. None of this. They're all big and bad until the bullets start flying. And then they're crying, waiting for somebody to come save them. And I'm like, stop it. Joe needs to shut the fuck up. Just shut the fuck up and be like, hey, we're all here for the same reason. We're all just here to work together. You don't have to emasculate every man that walks up to you, especially when you're going to need them in like 25 minutes. Like, I was like, just stop this shit. Please stop this shit. Caitlin's husband wasn't useless.
I'm like, all right, so wait. She's like, you still got something in the gun, you still got your gun, save it for us or whatever. I'm like, what at the particular point before the fighter jets come in, right? You'd be like, all right, we gotta kill Josefina because she can't even walk.
So I thought when Cody says we gotta go uphill, right? And Cruz is like, that's not happening over here. I thought that's when Josefina were gonna be like, well, I'll take care of me and be done with it, right? Like, somehow she was gonna sacrifice herself or something because they just somehow forgot about that.
It would have made so much more sense if Josefina was just dead for whatever reason, right? Don't matter the reason, but her father is mad, and that blows up the deal that he just made with the CIA.
I like that. Yes, that would have been good. Also, after smacking the shit out of her, he still cares about her, and he's like, "What? My daughter died in your service, in your custody. The deal is off." That would have been good. That would have been very good. She dies in the car in the plane crash, in the helicopter crash, right? So Cruz is trying to pull out her body. We can't let the Iranians have her body and parade her like they did to the poor Black Hawk pilot and Black Hawk Down. So, like, that's a real thing. And so like that would have been good. And then it's like, oh my God, we can't let her father find out. We just put him in charge of one of the 3 cartels. And just could ruin the whole operation. That would have been good. That would have been a good consequence. But no, none of that happens. Said senator did not ever give anything like, hey, thank you again for saving me, and hey, what about killing those guys? We never got around to that. Did you find the Mexican officials that must have been involved? No, we didn't do anything with that either.
No, have we seen the president that they left out of the loop and then looped in at the very last minute?
Did any of this help his election? We don't even know his name. So I thought it was a woman, to be real. I mean, I didn't think it was a man president. And then what happened to the trophies, to the big trophies that we wanted on the wall? What happened to that?
I'm like, what happened? Like, see, we know that this is garbage if we're making better plot lines in the review, but what would it be if that senator was running against the president in said election, and the CIA has to play politics of, which particular person are we backing? Are we backing the senator because she might be the next president, or we back the president that's in office now, or huh?
All right. So let's go down this route. So the senator, in fact, worked for the cartel and set up the whole kidnapping, and also so far to the part that she know her family was going to be murdered. That wasn't part of the plan. But to your point, this got her national attention. And so therefore she is the competition to the sitting president. And therefore this helped her numbers, right? So now she was about to become president. And then they find out when they actually do their jobs and go into Mexico and take on the cartel and find out the people who kidnapped her family and kidnapped her and killed her family, that this was all part of the plan. And then they have to make sure she's arrested before she wins, because she actually wins the election. And therefore they save the president, because the president's like, oh my, that would have been good.
That sounds like an episode of 24.
Yeah, but also better.
Not an episode, but a season of 24.
There you go. That's what this should have been. We talked about it. The first 4, since it's only 8 episodes, the first 4 episodes should have been them finding and saving the senator. If we're gonna go through all this, let's say the first 2-3 episodes, them finding and saving the senator. As they say, we're gonna take the fight to the cartel. They start working the cartel, trying to figure out who kidnapped her. We see the president. We know who he is, and he's running unopposed until she comes up, and then like, oh wait a minute, that was going to be his competition. And then, as we said, and then they work it, and then again, once they save the day, and it's election day. It's coming up on November, and then she wins the election. Oh my God, we saved the future president. But then we find out it was all a plan. She did all this just to get the notoriety and get her profile up. Bam. And then they have to take her down now. That would have been pretty good. That would at least kept it together. That's what I'm saying. A little bit more consistent.
Well, I wouldn't say take her down, but they know that, they, like, the CIA can write their own ticket for her administration. You give us any pushback on what we want to do, and we'll release the fact that you had something to do with your kidnapping.
There you go, Giovanni. I like that. That's even better. Joe and crew are like, now you work for us. What? Because we know that you worked with the cartel who killed your family. Unless you want people to know this. Oh my God, what do you need? Everything. So we want to take down China.
We need actual Apaches, not
Blackhawks. We need real Apaches, please, so we can go kill Chinese scientists in Iran. That we actually have real intel. Even if they don't, you show us the scientists. I don't think they even had lines. To your point of costing too much, those scientists never said anything. They were just because like they couldn't afford them. They couldn't afford for them to talk, I guess. So they're like, just stand there and look scared. I'm like, they didn't even look Chinese. I was like, what the like what? I was confused. I was like, no.
They're in a tank and they're being blindfolded. Like, I want to know, what did they think that they were going to see that they weren't supposed to see?
I don't. They were blindfolded?
Yeah.
I did not notice that. I did not notice that. Either way, it was silly. It was silly. The whole nuclear scientist thing should have been developed a long time ago before now. They again introduced the brother, just like they did in season 1. They introduced the target way too late into the season, and this time they waited to the last episode. The brother was the target. The uncle, in from Josephina's perspective, was the target, and he had what, 2 lines of Spanish and then shot.
He was dead before I could read the subtitles.
Hey, even more stupid, they don't pre-coordinate their visits. So now their security, which is from Australia or some shit, is like giving them a hard time. And old boy is like, hey, call your boss, like right now, which he never did actually. And it was like, hey, let him know that I'm here. And I'm like, that never happened. So I'm like, so then brother had to get on the phone to talk to the other brother to be like, hey, I'm here now. Tell this guy to stop touching us. Oh, yeah, never mind. I'm sorry. I forgot you guys were coming. And then that gets worked out. I was like, what?
When do you ever see, like, Caitlin and what is it, Mike Byron, right? These are top CIA government officials.
Yes.
They are going to meet face to face with a cartel leader.
No. No. That's not even how any of that works, because anyone could record this and be like, no, you work for us, because now we have evidence that the US government is backing a cartel. Like, you came to our house and said, hey, would you like to work with us? Like, no, buddy. No, like, I don't. It made no effing sense, bro. And this is not the 80s. We're trying to like, if this was the cocaine days, like maybe this was like Pablo Escobar days, like maybe this would make sense. But like right now, I'm like, what are we doing? And again, all we saw really was human trafficking.
No, even in the cocaine days, it was all you saw was Teddy.
You saw a guy. You saw a guy who may or may not be working for the agency, because they were about to see the deputy director of operations. I was like, what? Like, I got people on top of people for this shit. Like, I don't do this stuff, which is the whole point of the private plane thing. Like, it's been so long since we've been out here in the field, we don't know what it's like anymore. Bleh. And that was unnecessary. It's too much, bro. I don't want to do this anymore. So are you interested in a season 3?
Yeah, because I'm interested in Zoe Saldana.
You want more couple scenes, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, I'm like, even if she start messing with the guy she was messing with in season 1 or whatever, Kyle or the other.
No, she wasn't messing with Kyle. It was another guy.
Yeah, the other guy. Yeah. So yeah, I'm here for all of that. I don't. You can't watch the show for the mission at hand. Like, you will be very disappointed because it doesn't. It's not cohesive. Just, you got to watch it for, I don't know, like, I guess their personal life. Even though, like, who like the youngest daughter. What was her takeaway from the season? Nothing.
Yeah.
The oldest daughter. Ew, I caught you fucking when I was just knocked up a few months ago. I don't know. There's not very much takeaways from her family life, other than she can't cook and her husband, is like I don't know, like a damsel in distress. Like he's gonna be there no matter what. Like he might give those ultimatums, but
Yeah, I mean, yes, he's the faithful home spouse that cooks and takes care of the children while mommy's away saving America. Yes. True Lies did it better. I mean, and that was a movie, but it did it better. You know, undercover like spy spouse with at home spouse who like feels like they're not appreciated, but then they get involved. They didn't even do that. They get the spouse involved in the mission, and the children get to be a part of it, and sort of. Then they all find out, and they're all one big happy family.
Like True Lies, there was like a cover. Like, what is her cover? Like,
that's a good point. So how do the kids not know what mom does for a living? When like I'm like, that's they have like it's like, oh hey guys, don't watch TV because mom may be saving a senator. I don't know. Like, you're right though. At least True Lies, they made an effort to give him a cover. I don't know. Like, you never see parent teacher day. Like, what do you do for a living? I save America every day. So I don't know. I don't know, man. But True
I
Lies
don't
still
know. I
did it
remember
better.
when before she went on
The TV show was
the
trash.
other mission that got her shot, she went into like, you know, her wall safe or whatever and got
Yeah.
all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, that looks cool for TV, but like, when does she like replenish that? Does she come with like a whole bunch of supplies and stock it up and everything? And like, how often do you restock? And do you like, she's just taking stuff. She's not itemizing anything. I took one of this, I took one of that.
This is completely unrealistic. As a case officer, she is an intelligence collector. At best, her arsenal would be the products of her field team. They would be Cody would be the one. Not even Kyle, as much as Kyle's a cool ass kicker, whatever. He's still a collector. Also, it would be their team that would have that kind of obviously Hollywood home arsenal. They'd be like, okay, do you want this 9mm or this 9mm? I'll take.
No, they don't have a home arsenal because they crash at Cruz's house and then go straight to the plane.
Also true. Apparently they don't have homes. But I'm like, but if they did have homes, this is what their homes would look like. It would not be fucking Joe, man. That is too much. And again, this only makes sense when the fight is brought to her home. When they try to kidnap her family, and now she has to kick down the door, find 150 guns, and save her family. Like, bring the fight home so the family's relevant.
Yes. So that's enough. So who is paying for this stuff? Like, if this is your personal supply, why are you using this for government sanctioned missions?
No. It's the government. It's the government's weapons. They just want you to believe that she keeps that stuff at home. When they say, "Hey, it's time for you to go to Afghanistan," she goes home, and it's like, "Oh, let me get this one, and let me pack this one in my back pocket," and boom. Like, that's not how that works. But that's what that's what they want you to believe. That all this stuff is just readily available at the house, because she never goes into the office. She never goes to Langley. I cannot think of a scene where she went to Langley and had a meeting and be like, "Okay, we're working from Langley." Like, she visits the White House often, actually, but every mission comes from home.
I'm like, so if she got exploded on any one of those missions, right? And for whatever reason, one of those kids, you know, kids are very enterprising and hacking and safe cracking and stuff. It gets into like, that's a show in and of itself. The special ops parent dies. They get into their safe with all of the weapon arsenal, and then all that ensues, you know, with their teenage selves with like a war chest.
No, I would say Joe is on mission and finds out that, yes, the youngest somehow figured out that the combination was her birthday, and takes one of these mini weapons to school, and accidentally shoots another kid, and now she's really fucked. And then like that would be more realistic, and would be a problem. And then work is related. Holding that shit. Let's back it up. She just brings the weapon to school.
No, the kid finds a grenade and thinks it's a Christmas tree ornament. Tries to just pull it.
Oh shit! Well, she ain't that young. I mean, but I hear you. I hear you. But no, I mean, again, once again, as cute as the kids are, they were not relevant. They were more relevant in season one. At least the oldest daughter was. But even the kids weren't really relevant this year, and the husband was just kind of there to have sex with, and cook. Whatever.
I'm like, who's getting injured next season? Because I'm like, the daughter got in a car crash. She got shrapnel this season. So there's two more people from the household on the chopping block next season.
The father gets into some type of car accident, so he can't operate. His hands are messed up. He can't operate and he can't cook. So then Joe has to hire a nanny to help take care of the family, who turns out to be an operative working for some foreign intelligence service, and they use that to infiltrate their house. And since Joe is always gone, she's trying
but that's too close to this season with the undercover maid.
She wasn't undercover. She was a maid that, I mean, she got recruited. I would this not. I hear you. I'll say that story went nowhere. That story went nowhere. So again, I think it would be work better in this situation. But I hear you. A maid that happens to be sort of, but this is an intelligence officer trained and focused on getting to her family. Not the same thing. To your point would be if they recruited the white mother of the kid that was helping them sell pictures / lemonade, and it's like, I need you to spy on Joe and let me know what she's doing.
The only way that would work is if Joe doesn't know about it. If he's, pretending to, was all like on some Mrs. Doubtfire, like I cooked this or whatever, and she's in the background doing everything before Joe comes home or whatever. But if Joe knows about it, she's going to find her run her fingerprints, her social security. Like, she's going to do the thoroughest background check. So then there would be plot holes in that. It would have to be done behind her back.
No, I'm saying to your point, she's always gone. She doesn't have time to do it. So what's her husband's name? Damn it. Hold on.
Neil?
What's her husband's name? Neil. Neil hires the person. So yes, to your point, if Joe was directly involved, all this would have came up, but she's always gone. Neil is hurt, and he's like, hey, I got to get somebody to help out with the kids and that kind of stuff. So Neil hires someone off of a recommendation, and then from an agency, and it turns out to be a spy or something. And then Joe comes home eventually, meets her, likes her, or she's kind of cool, whatever. But then something's fishy about her, looks into it, and then she finds out who she really is. But by then she's already kidnapped the kids, and now we got real problems. I'm just saying, next year the kids need to be kidnapped. Like, we need to make the family more relevant than what they've been.
I guess I'm like, I see you kidnapping the youngest kid, but I'm like the older one. I'm like, she's too close to an adult to be like, yeah, we're gonna make an extra special effort to kidnap her along with the other one.
Okay, all right. The younger, the more innocent they look, and therefore you care more. I give you that. I mean, once you start becoming a teenage mother, it's hard to see you as a child that needs to be saved. All right. So they kidnapped a little one who's dumb enough.
And I'm like, little kids can be convinced or coaxed. Like, obviously we saw that this season where she's just walking in the RVs and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, the older
one.
one.
Again, kidnap doesn't mean, hey, little girl, he's a piece of candy. I mean, they put a gun to your head and throw you in the back of a vehicle. Anyone can be taken. So that's what I mean. Not quietly coerced. I mean, like the family is taken hostage, is what I'm saying. So all three of them can be. Neil too can be taken if it comes to that. But again, I don't know. I'm praying. Well, I guess it's doing pretty well for Paramount purposes, so it's probably going to get a season 3.
No, they need to. Season 3 needs to be taken to the home in the sense that there's, I don't know, drug lord, military dictator, whatever you want to call it, right? The enemy, as it were. They have a sick kid. This is the foremost doctor that can do it. He's in America. We're going to kidnap him and make him do the surgery. But what we didn't know is that his wife works for the CIA.
It'd be hard pressed that they didn't know that. But I like where you're going with this. So, how about said child is a patient at the hospital? Said child has to go back home, wherever foreign country this is, and he's like, yeah, I could help out, but I'm sorry, you got to go back home, blah blah blah. And then they, to your point, they kidnap him and take him on the plane to said country. You will perform the surgery here. Like we want to make sure that we're in complete control, because I'm a dangerous man or dangerous woman, and people know who I am. So I got to be safe in my own country. But you're coming with us one way or the other. And then Joe and crew has to go save him.
Yeah.
All right. I like that. And then the oldest daughter's old enough to sit at home and take care of the youngest daughter till they get back, and they can have cookies for dinner.
And it'll just be just like From. The older daughter will be like, I'm tired of parenting for you, mom and dad.
They actually did it better in From, and that's kind of sad for me to say. Like there's a far better family situation going on there. The kids are relevant. like their parenting is relevant. Unlike this. I cannot say that. Even Landman, as inappropriate as it is, at least it makes sense to an extent. Like the kids are there and they're doing stuff, and they're kind of tied to what's happening. I don't know. Anyway, I've seen the new episode,
but yeah, I haven't seen it either. But those kids are much older.
But I'm saying, at least, but we've seen shows where grown kids meant nothing. Like, why are they there? But anyway, I feel like these kids could be something. All right, I don't want to do this anymore. Anything else for Lioness substantially?
No, I just thought it was nice to see Michael Kelly outside of a suit this season. Like, that was very out of character for his usual characters.
Well, to your point of family, we actually saw his family. You know what I'm saying? Wife, kids, that sort of shit. So let's mix it up. Like, it doesn't have to be Joe. Like, his family gets one of his family members gets taken. We don't know what his wife does for a living. Like, that would be interesting. And now he's front and center. And then Joe has to come help him in his situation. That'd be interesting. He's a great actor. I'm happy that he's still working. I'll call he's like a working character actor, as they say, since House of Cards and whatnot. But he stays paid. So I gotta give it to him. The Penguin. So he makes sure there's a role for him wherever he goes. And Nicole Kidman being on TV
was the only time I've ever seen him on the other side of the law.
Yeah. Well, no, I would say House of Cards, he was a little bit. He was kind of what's necessary, right? So like he wasn't. That was like quasi shady.
Yeah, but he was still on the side of like the government, so to say.
Okay, I get your point. I would say that. I get it. Damn it! Something about what we kids. Fuck it. Was thank you. Spinoffs. Manhunters. Taylor Sheridan / Cody said all of us are manhunters. That's what he said in when he's introduced in episode 1. I would love for him to have a spinoff, or his crew to have a spinoff, and Kyle is the lead. Like, Kyle needs his own show, and I would watch that. I think it would have more credibility.
But does Kyle have a? Kyle doesn't have a crew. Kyle borrows Joe's crew.
But that's where Cody and crew would come in. Like, Cody would be like, he's like, hey, bro, you and me, let's go do this mission. So he's like, all right, let's team up. We're all manhunters. So he would be the case officer. Cody would be his crew, and they would go on missions. And Cody would recruit a few people, yes. But I think that would be an awesome show.
Episodic or like a season-long manhunt?
Good question. Season long, because when done correctly, it's a better way of telling the story when done correctly. And I want to give Taylor Sheridan some type of credit that he can do it. Like, he did a great movie in episode 1 of this season, but I think if paced out, that could be a season. I think episodic works better for like broadcast television to me, because you kind of forget, you watch and you forget. Like, episode 2 doesn't really connect. It doesn't really have to connect to episode 1. It's just another, like I said, another adventure, another episode. So,
but it could be. We have an end goal, but all of these little side missions add up to the final, get us to the final end goal.
I think Dexter did that the best. Every episode, if not every other episode, he was killing a B level killer or problem, and then there was an overarching villain that he had to take down. And they did that to your point. They kind of did that well. So the whole season kind of led up to the big bad, but every season paid off with some type of kill. And so again, with the right writers, it can be done. It can be done. But I still say that would make a better show than Lioness. At least the way they're executing Lioness is just terrible. I mean, overall.
Yeah, I'm like, it's only women empowerment, like, as window dressing or on the surface. Like, it's yes. Unfortunately, because they just scream at just for no reason, and I'm like, no one's challenging you, no one, until you get into the shit, and then you're still crying. You're crying, waiting to be saved, like, every time. I'm like, this is not. It's not a good look. It's not a good look. At least Sarah, she didn't die again in 2 weeks.
I hear you. So yeah, I mean, so it was cool to see her. Like, and it's cool to see. I love how Taylor keeps his crew and paid, especially Dale. I mean, over like he going to be all right. Like, they have a tight relationship. So he goes from show. He
knows where the bodies are buried.
He has to be, man, because he's always together. All right, man. Let's wrap it up, bro. Any final words?
Like, comment, subscribe. Get us to that milestone come next Sunday, the 15th, and share the video and all of that.
Thanks, Giovanni. See you around. I'll see you in the background. Boop. All right, guys. So we are off until December 21st. I had to look on my phone. So I'm gonna be out next week. So when I come back, we will be back with All the Queen's Men, Landman, The Agency, and whatever I can think of that we haven't done since then. And The Devil's Hour, a British show that Stacy's watching. It sounds interesting. So we may check that out. If there's something else you want us to do, please put it in the comments of this video. What did you think of please comment on the video. What did you think of season 2? How did it compare to season 1? Do you want a season 3? Is there any actors or actresses you would like to see in a season 3? Maybe Casey can join after Yellowstone is gone. Maybe he comes and he becomes the Manhunter. Maybe he and Cody and crew make their own. Him and Kyle and he make their own teams. That'd be kind of something. I don't know. See what happens to him. He's probably gonna die though. Anyway, see you guys around till next.
I will say thank you guys very much for hanging out with us. I see people watching, people in the chat.
I enjoy the view. I don't know what the fuck I was watching.
Rewatch this when we're done. Rewatch this. You'll see what we're talking about. You'll be like, oh shit,
hilarious, absolutely hilarious.
What do go there?
Oh shit! Casey, do your thing. Fuck that shit.
But anyway, please like and share and comment on the video and all that kinds of stuff. As they say, we're just gonna end this broadcast and say bye.